Hi and welcome to Yum Paleo. My name is Andrew and today we're going to be doing another really yummy fish dish. So what I have here is I have 5 fillets of gurnard. Alternately you can use hoki, teriyaki, that sort of thing, but for the purposes of this today I'm using gurnard. So the reason I have 5 fillets is I'm cooking this for 5 people. And so we're going to have a combination of a few different components to this meal, but essentially what we're making is an almond and crusted fillet of fish, and we're going to serve this on a bed of wilted spinach with a side of red peppers and tomato, and also a little bit of asparagus thrown in for good measure. So the first thing we've done, I've just halved and de-seeded these capsicums or red peppers, depending on what part of the world you're from, and I have 3 of those that I have halved and de-seeded. I've got 2 small bunches of asparagus here, and I've just chopped the ends off those. I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard. I've got some sliced almonds, which I'm going to chop up coarsely. Got a little bit of some chili flakes here, which I'm going to add for a little bit of zest. I'm also going to add some dill, so I've got a bunch of fresh dill here. Got some Himalayan pink salt, which is organic, it's really quite good for you. And we're going to add this into our rub, which goes on top of the fish. And we've also got 4 lemons, which we're going to zest and juice. Anyway, first things first. It doesn't take very long to cook the fish, it's about 9 minutes. So what I've been doing in the meantime, I've got our pot boiling away there, so I'm just going to turn that right down. That's for our spinach. I've got our pan sitting on here, and I'm going to make a start on this first, because this takes probably the most amount of time to have ready. Now I've only got 1 pan on the go here today, so sort of closely trying to simulate what you might have in your own kitchen. So I'm going to cook down the peppers and the tomatoes in this pan, in our wok, and then I'm going to take that out, and then I'm going to just lightly pan fry our asparagus. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in that pan, like so. So it's probably about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. And what we're going to do is just quickly just chop down these tomatoes. Like so. And just add that into the mix. So we're just going to dice them fairly coarsely. Don't want them done too fine. Okay, so that's our 4 tomatoes, which we've got on the go there, and just cooking them down lightly. Give them a quick stir, and now we're just going to get our half of red peppers, and we're just going to slice them into long pieces. And again, not too fine. So we're just going to add our 4th one in here now and just stir it in. And the idea here, it's really as much for aesthetics as anything else, because we're going to have the white with the crust of the fish on top of the bed of green. So I want a little bit of red in there as well, just for that visual interest. So with our herb crust, I have about 100 grams, which is it's about a cup and a half, about a good cup of sliced almonds. So I'm just going to spread about half of that, so about half a cup. I'm not going to need the whole lot, I don't think anyway. Just playing this a little bit by ear, and I'm just going to coarsely just chop through that, because I don't want the whole pieces of sliced almond. Just so we're going to get that really nice little bit of a crunch through that crust, which is going to be just yum. And now what we're going to do is we're going to zest 3 lemons. So the idea here with making this crust is just being a little bit creative and just thinking about a few ingredients that might work nicely with that gurnard. So I've got the zest of 2 lemons there now, so I'm just going to scrape some of that yummy zest off the grater. I don't want to waste that. And grab it all from the inside. And I'm just going to add the zest of those 2 lemons in there as well. Got that bit of tomato in there. Come back and give that a wee stir up. Just while I've got that right, I'm just going to add a little bit of cracked black pepper. Right, from there, I'm just going to trim the ends off that dill. I don't want the stalky bits. I'm just going to screw this up into so always get fresh dill if you can. And I'm going to add that in as well. That's about done, so I'm just going to take the heat off that. So I've got our dill and our lemon zest and our crunched up sliced almonds. So just approximate measures, nothing too fancy. About a teaspoon there, and just going to add that in as well. Going to add just a shake of chili flakes in there too. Obviously you can just adjust that quantity dependent on how hot you want this. And I'm just going to add some salt. I'm going to chop. So I'm going to juice one of those lemons straight into our mixture, and the other one I'm just going to save for a little bit. So the idea now is to just grab a teaspoon, or a normal spoon as the case may be, and we're just going to just mix that up. So the Dijon mustard should really help bind everything together, then turn that from something quite dry into something quite useful. Okay, that looks all right, so I'm going to set that to one side now, and I'm just going to lay these 5 fillets out onto a foil tray. While you're doing this, you also want to preheat your oven. I've got it set to around 180 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is just juice that lemon very lightly over the top of those gurnard fillets. Bring this here, and we're just going to get your fingers in there, and we're just going to push that on to a fillet like that. Now, being that it's a white fish, it's really not going to take very long in the oven, about 9 or 10 minutes. But you're going to want to keep a pretty close eye on it, because you don't want to overcook it. So, if I'm saying 10 minutes, you want to be checking it at about 8, and then just watching it for those last couple of minutes just to make sure that we're ready to go. There we go, we've kind of got sufficient coverage on those fillets. I'm actually pretty happy with them. I'm just going to grab our tomato out of that pan so I can make room for our asparagus. So just set that to one side for now. I'm going to use that when I plate up. Okay, so we're going to pop our fish in now. So that's 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to grab our asparagus. Pop that all in there like that. And we're just going to start putting a little bit of black pepper over the top. Okay, so we're about 4 minutes into it now, and so I'm just going to grab our spinach here and I'm going to pop it into the pot. So that spinach has been on there long enough as well. So I'm just going to bring that out. You don't want to overcook it because it just goes stewy and yuck. And the idea there is just to get the water out of that. Pop it in like that. That fish is cooked, and the way you can tell it's cooked is it's just starting to flake at the sides, which tells you it's ready. Any longer than that, it's going to dry out. So, really simple. Almond crusted gurnard fillets. We're going to do a side of peppers and tomatoes, put that on a bed of spinach and serve it alongside some asparagus. So I really hope you enjoy that recipe. It's a really fresh, really simple one to do. So I look forward to seeing you back here at Yum Paleo for another delicious recipe. See you next time.